The last step is optimizing. In optimizing for activation is to also set up your dashboards based on these findings that we've just discussed now, so you can keep tracking more easily in the future. And we said this is a continuous process, so you will be improving your reports over time, so you can save even more time in getting to those insights and answering those whys. And one more last thing about our reporting and widgets is that UXCam comes with an extensive widget library. And these are pre-built widgets, so you can set up a dashboard literally in a few minutes without you having to do any chart configuration, basically. But then later on, of course, you can also customize them if you would like to. But before we move on to the retention part, let's recap a little bit why the learning part of the process is so important. So as we mentioned before, this is the part where you can uncover user insights that the graphs or charts cannot tell you from your regular analytics tools. So in short, again, you can discover some of the whys and discover unknown unknowns that you didn't know about at all. And this is often really achieved by identifying hidden UX issues that are driving these problems in your sign-up process or in that flow to your first transaction. So just to give a few examples, what can drive these? For instance, hidden elements that users cannot see, but they're supposed to see. What also often happens is there are optimization problems between landscape and portrait mode. So the cool thing is, again, in UXCam, you can view both in landscape and portrait mode. And then, of course, the dark mode optimization issue that can also often happen. Maybe you forgot about dark mode users and they cannot read something on the screen, which can lead them in dropping off. And of course, it's also very common to have issues with input fields and validations like email and passwords. And very, very common is what you should also look for when you are looking at session replays is to see if notification messages are not coming up, for instance, about password instructions. We've seen this with many customers before, that on one version, for instance, it was there, on the other version, it's not showing up, and the user doesn't see it, they get confused, and they drop off, and you might have lost them forever if that was their first ever session after opening the app following the download.